Hello, this is K1 with Kerbal Space Program with my buddy Raiderman.
Hello, everybody. How are we on this fine Tuesday afternoon?
I lose track of what day is what, and it's going to be a while before this is up anyway, so it's probably going to be like a Friday or a Saturday or a Monday.
Well, for those of you wondering what time it is, it's 3:09 p.m. Eastern Time on the 19th, which is a Tuesday. I don't know what time it is over at K1's, so...
It is noon 09, and I went in the wrong building. Yeah, I've got my stuff already built. I don't need to go to the VAB first.
Put a headlight on it this time.
Oh, okay.
Are you happy I stopped you?
Well, I'm dusting off our old buddy Big Truck.
Otherwise known as overcompensation.
But I'm trying something new here.
Yes.
I have a backup plan in case the little truck module I have inside fails. I have docking ports of both sides on the outside, so I could just use this vehicle itself to perform the rendezvous if I need to.
Yeah, I'm going to assume here his plan, that I've got this right in my head. He's going to unlink it from the cargo bay, move the big truck away, scoot to the side, move back, come in and grab. Do I have that right?
Something to that effect. I can use the, whoops. I can use the little cargo pods I do have, to basically hold the modules in place. Whoops.
Where are you? Is that a headlight?
Yeah, it's the Gemini headlight.
Shouldn't I go up top?
Well, I'm doing them in at both of the ports too.
Ah, okay, yep, that makes perfect sense.
So even if the modules don't maneuver very well, they can at least hold everything still.
And you can of course see where everything is.
Yeah.
Which is, of course, very, very useful information to have.
And the Gemini lights just kind of look a bit less intrusive.
True.
There we go. That should do the trick. Let's unbury this thing.
Yeah, we actually found the size limit for how tall you can have a launch stack in the VAB here.
I wish there was a way to upgrade that, because I know we all want to reach for the stars quite literally.
This is a heavily bastardized version of the Saturn Nova. Almost
Yes.
did it again.
Or actually, it's the Apollo Nova. There's the Apollo Saturn, and there's the Apollo Nova.
So yeah, it's heavily bastardized.
Crew I have, Jeb is going back, as well as Sally and Sarah.
He's hoping we don't blow the pad again. Pre-positioning?
Yep. The truck actually reads as a station.
Well, it's big enough.
And I've got all of my debris still in orbit.
I don't suppose we can somehow shift the station to a different orbit.
Well, it's not really necessary. I mean, the closest debris is lagging behind.
Yeah, anytime I hear the words debris, it makes me nervous.
Watch Gravity too many times?
No. Twister.
Debris! Okay, this is going to be loud. And there goes our pad.
You took off at full throttle again, didn't you?
Yep. Well, I need to just to get this monster off the ground.
Well, don't forget to dial your thrust back so you're not burning all your fuel.
Yep, I generally wait to about 100 meters per second. And slowly dial down to 50%. And now we can move in without busting our eardrums. These engines are loud.
Yeah. Jamie,
Sally's not having a good time of it.
Oh.
She's like, why am I doing this again? And Jeb's like, it's fun! Jeb could be making a nosedive straight into a mountain and still be smiling. I'm thinking eventually they'll work some kind of mechanic to where their stats of courage and stupidity actually contribute something to the flying ability or something into the game other than how they look.
All it's missing is majestic themed music, really.
Yeah, they only have a few themes. They've got nothing playing while you're launching, but they do.
And that's what's missing is we need some kind of ambient theme for the launch.
We need the launch theme from the movie Apollo 13.
Huh. Well, let's see how badly this son of a gun wants to shimmy today, shall we?
It's a really great theme, by the way. I always loved James Horner as a composer, but then of course I'm biased because I was always a big fan of Star Trek 2 and 3.
He did good work with Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar.
The two Jameses working together.
Alright, so what's your fuel status?
Fuel status, about 30%. So a bit higher than I'm generally at at the first pitch over, so I'm doing good.
Yeah, it means we're ironing out the kinks for the launch sequence for this big boy.
Big Bertha.
Hit! Otherwise known as overcompensation. It's about at the pitch over where we start seeing this thing want to really shimmy on us.
Yep.
Although, and I'm going to knock on the wood here, seems to be cooperating for the moment.
I'm doing a very slow pitch over here. But hopefully we'll be pitched before the fuel runs out. I don't want to be turning while staging.
Yeah, it leads to all kinds of fun.
Okay. Max thrust. Okay, thrust that down a bit. I think it's the staging event itself that causes some of the shimmy.
It's actually stable for the moment.
Yeah, it shimmied a bit. I kind of error corrected it a bit.
That's rare that it ever cooperates that well. Come on. Status on fuel.
Oh, fuel, we got plenty. Well, we're at about 60. And we got some shimmy.
Let's just remember not to hit the staging command early this time.
Yeah.
As with the big truck here, well, you may as well pop the command capsule and return. Because it's not going to get to orbit on its own without the rest of the stages there.
I'm doing a very... Actually, I want to do... Whoopsie. West turning. I want to actually hit the apogee and not low orbit. So I'm going to tilt myself up. Has a station passed overhead already?
Well, we generally close on the second orbit at the beginning, so we're going pretty much par for the course.
Okay, we've got our kicker stage. Now, hopefully, we at least reach the path before the kicker runs out. Oh boy.
No.
Well, the good news is the kicker is going to be back down in the atmosphere.
Even better news is we're not going to use too much monoprop just to get to orbit. Ooh. Does that mean what I think that means, or am I just wishful thinking here?
Wishful. We're still 60 kilometers away.
Damn.
So we are out of the atmosphere. I'm not going to deploy those yet. We got plenty of power. Power's not going anywhere.
And
I might rendezvous with the debris.
yeah, and your the low point of your orbit is going to have you coming back down in short order.
Yeah. I just want to get back on this path and then round it out. Disable RCS on the command module. Don't need that.
That's actually not helping.
Well, I also tried to rework the thrusters just a bit.
It looks like it's maneuvering a lot better, even when you did have the command module thrusters up at the same time.
Oops. It still wants to kind of tilt. I think because the thrusters on the other modules in the bay.
Ooh.
Okay, my apogee's going a bit too high. So I'm going to reach orbit at about 50%.
Let's see if we can't keep at least 30% of it and give 20 to the station.
Well, the station doesn't really need...
What about the little mini tugs? They probably could do with a topping up.
Okay, well, it looks like my closest separation is going to be just as we go into the night side.
Which means those headlights are going to get a workout.
Yep. Might as well use them.
Aren't you glad I mentioned it?
Meanwhile, let's see if we can polish that off a bit. Alright, looks like...
I don't suppose you can disable the mid-vehicle RCS thrusters by any chance.
Yeah, I didn't really need those, did I?
It's actually off-balancing your thrust a little.
I don't know if it's those thrusters that are doing it or what the deal is. Disable. I shouldn't have done that while I was maneuvering, though.
Well, it's not going to hurt you too much.
Alrighty.
We can turn those back on when we're actually using them for what they're meant for, I think.
As I perform the whale probe maneuver.
Whale probe. Whale probe.
Yep, seen Star Trek 4 a few too many times.
Whale probe.
Not that funny.
That's gonna be in my head all day now. Thank you.
Oh, here we go. Bringing that down. Okay, more forward thrust. Down to 3.3. Come on, let's get that down. Well, I think that's good enough.
Can you turn on the headlights, or are they pointless at the moment?
They're pointless at the moment because I got nothing for them to point at. What are you opening?
Hmm?
What are you opening?
Putting away, actually.
Oh. So, I'm going to pass time into the daylight side. It'll give me a chance to prepare my craft.
Including deploying your bay doors and solar wings, I hope.
Yep. Okay, so let's get a view on what we got in here. On the back bay, we've got the return of the gripper tug, but hopefully a bit better designed.
You mean a little less, bloomers.
A little less. We have our airlock module for the station.
Nice.
And we have the Japanese laboratory module. The GEM. Which also has an expansion port on it as well. This is a good time to deploy our solar panels. And hopefully do not make the sound that whatever you're working on is making.
That is disconcerting, isn't it?
Yeah. Sounds like you're trying to tie someone up.
Don't give me any ideas. I've already got a few people that I don't need those ideas in my head when I think of. And this time I actually remember to unhook my network line before moving things.
Yeah, 2.7 kilometers is about as good as we're going to get. So, what I'm going to do here, whoopsie, is not do that.
K1!
Yeah. I probably screwed up our approach by a few kilometers. That's okay, I can make that back.
Yeah, by reversing thrust. Probably not. I wish it was that simple.
Yeah, it's that little tug there that's...
Please tell me I didn't remember the
Are
rule.
these not
Yes,
doing
I did.
anything? They are. They should be. Yeah, they do. They work. So let's see if we can make that 4.2 back.
No, I'm not tying anybody up.
Nah, I'm not going to bother with that. Okay, how to make this work? Actually, I'm going to tilt myself back down because I'm going to need sunlight on my side here.
Rotate your wings, maybe get a little more light.
The problem is where the camera is in relation to where I need to see.
Makes it weird.
Yeah. So, let's remove. Yeah, let's move this ball out of the way. Decouple node. Give a bit of forward thrust, and then, whoops, scoot ourselves down. Wrong button.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
The little mini module on the back end there, if that's got anything worth keeping when we're done with it, can we dock it to the station?
That's part of the idea. Okay, so that mini module is just basically keeping this thing steady.
And now we need to scooch the truck over, go up, and then
Grab it.
or we could do what you're doing right now as it floats overhead. There is a port that you can use for that, right?
Yep, right on top. I've also got some docking struts to keep it steady.
Closer.
So this time it takes to rendezvous at the station is giving us the time we need to perform this maneuver.
Question, at what point do we grab the damn thing?
After I pitch over?
Which would be when?
In a few more seconds.
Okay. And your tug's thrusters are on again.
Yep.
For whatever reason, this game likes to put those thrusters always on.
Well, they're on by default. And my center of mass is a little far behind, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, the good news is you've got plenty of fuel in the big truck. You could easily top off the tug's fuel stores while it's docked.
Yep.
I see what you're doing. The little doohickey down there on the bottom of the module, that's a port, isn't it?
Yeah, that's also for these other two.
But in this case, you're going to use it to grab the module.
No, I'm using the doohickey at the top to grab this module. So actually, I'm going to do it for both. So you've just got to even ourselves up. Lock it in, and then control from here. Set U as target, which should get our orientation as such to where I can maneuver properly.
You know, just a thought, but if you could somehow release this, the big truck, as its own separate mod or something, you know? It's working, it's doing what it's supposed to, you know? Why not make it available?
Don't know if it's enough to justify. I mean, it requires a bit more tweaking, and also the fact that it's not of stock parts. It all requires requires FASA,
which isn't of itself free, and thus it's not an issue.
True. Just generally, when you make mods, you don't want to have to require other things, if at all possible. All right. So let's settle into. Gotcha.
All right. Let's lock it in.
All right. Let's send Sarah, because I need Jeb to keep the ship steady.
Face hugger.
Huh?
Yeah, the way that the way the Kerbal knot was holding onto the capsule. Face hugger.
Oh. I need a bit more sunlight here. I need to remember how to maneuver. That would help too. Do I have any lights on my suit? I do not. Pity.
Well, you know roughly where the hard points are, so.
Roughly. So, come on, stop moving. Okay, so link you to this one here. Huh. Now it says I can board Jim here, but that is actually not a crew hatch.
Heh. That's funny.
That's supposed to be a an airlock for transporting cargo to the outside platform, and it is not big enough to have a astronaut in a suit. Not even for emergencies.
You
Now,
probably stick somebody in without a suit, but why the heck would you want to do that?
yeah, I don't think they have a reason to execute anyone by spacing them yet.
Oh no, I wasn't even talking about executing someone. I was talking about the station's breached, can't get to safety, go to the airlock.
Well, there's also no way to control it from the inside. Or from... yeah. Okay, that's pretty much locked in place.
Now let's get the heck back inside.
We've got plenty of time. Grab. Board. Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the same with this. Let's make sure I've got fuel in here. I do. But I'm going to top it off anyway.
I had returned. I had to duck out for a moment to see what was going on in the living room. My baby niece is over and is apparently having a tantrum.
Huh? Isn't that what baby nieces do?
Yeah, which you could probably hear her right now.
I cannot, but I also have the sound down so it doesn't like drown. Alright, so I've got the grabber module fully fueled. All I need it to do is move forward, not maneuver at all.
Hi Murphy, how are you?
We will see.
Idea. Don't do anything first.
Whoops.
I was gonna say move the spacecraft, the rest of the truck, but...
Boom.
Okay, so that's prepped and ready to go.
Might not be perfectly centered, but that's okay.
It's enough for our purposes. Okay, what the...
Decouple node.
What the Hades are you doing?
I'm doing the same thing with the other. Control from here. Move the ship forward. And then move the ship down.
And then down, and you're gonna rotate and plug the module in?
Yep.
Huh.
So I'm going to plug the grabber onto the bottom so that frees the docking port of this to catch the station.
So is that the ultimate destination of the EVA port?
On this one, no.
It's going to be relocated?
Yeah. The port on the gem module is mostly for a cargo pod for equipment for the experiments.
Well, you might want to start your rotation.
Working on it. I'm going to have to go the long way around.
That's does not fill me with confidence.
That's okay, we got plenty of time. We're not going to come even close to rendezvous until, like, afternoon, and we're not even at high noon yet.
Are we flipping the truck, or are we rotating it laterally?
We'll be pitching it nose up.
Okay. I think you could do a little more clearance, but
Oh, look, there's the station. 66 kilometers, so we've got time.
I think you can pitch over.
Not just yet. Now, this would all be so much easier if I had a working remote arm.
Well, that's going to be interesting. Air thrust is, well, it could be worse.
And I just wanted to not drift too far away. Or I probably should have, because my nose is going to be... That's okay, I'm still drifting a little.
Oh, well, how would you feel about using the tug to maneuver the module?
I don't want to start turning that tug unless I have to. 56 kilometers and closing.
We learned our lesson with this thing. It's really goosey.
Yeah.
I couldn't find a word.
I didn't put any clamps on the tug. And I'm going to need to back up a bit. 51 kilometers in closing.
So where the heck are you going to dock it at the moment?
Underneath. I should have put it on the nose. That would have made more sense.
I was thinking you were going to put it on the module that's currently sticking out lopsided.
You know, I could have done that too.
That's where I thought you were going with it. Oh boy, this will make for some really interesting dancing.
Whoopsie.
Other way.
Okay, pitch, pitch, pitch. There we go. Station, 43 kilometers in closing. Whew. 41 kilometers in closing.
We might want to hurry this one along.
Yeah.
Thought. That's a port on the side of that module that's currently floating overhead, right?
We got 5 minutes. There's a port on both sides.
On the module that's floating overhead, there.
This one?
Oh, is that a crew hatch?
That's
there.
a crew hatch there. There's a docking port there, and a docking port there.
I was gonna say if you could have grabbed it on the nose, just rotate the module and grab it on the nose.
The nose is not a proper docking port.
I know. It was a thought. Okay.
I mean, the nose has a docking port, but it's not made to attach to station modules.
Okay, so... Oh. Aha. Yes, the light bulb just went off. It's going to make for some really interesting maneuvering, that's for sure.
So I've got about 4 minutes to make this rendezvous.
I don't think you're going to need 4 minutes. I already see roughly where you're going with it.
Yeah. But as I said, I have no attachments for docking struts, so I'm going to have to be very careful when I fire my braking thrust. I'm going to have to do it early.
Stupid thought. Is there any way to rotate that module so you get the proper port that does have docking struts? Because didn't you put docking strut attachments on the bottom of that?
I did.
Of the truck?
But I mean, no, I didn't put. There's docking struts on here, but not on the little
And
tug
on
module.
the module proper.
On the module proper, but I need that port exposed so I can reach the station.
Okay.
Okay, set as target. Control from here.
Yep. Scooch just a little.
Scooch in progress. Back up just a bit.
All right, bring her in, Jet.
And we are lined up.
Nice and gentle. Okay, so notes for next attempt that involves the tug.
Boom. Gotcha.
Put docking strut hardpoints on the bottom of the tug.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't actually put any hard points in the bottom of... Okay. Well, whatever. I didn't anticipate to have to need that. So set that as target. I've got 2 minutes to rendezvous. And control from here. Whew! That was a little bit of work. So now I just need to use my truck. So this is my first attempt to use the truck to actually connect parts to the station.
And when do we begin our braking maneuver?
Soon as I'm lined up.
Your Kerbal knots appear to not be agreeing very well with this flight.
They're just focused. They're not, like, upset or happy. Okay, 1 minute to rendezvous. I'm going to give a tiny kick, which is making it want to wobble just a little bit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because I see things moving that shouldn't be.
Okay, I'm going to hold it there for now.
Ooh.
Yeah, that engine has some major kick to it.
It's still reading everything as 2 stations.
Yeah, rename vessel, ship. Let's fix that. Okay, rendezvous in 1 minute. Let's see how monoprop slows me down. Not as fast as I'd like, so gentle kick.
Feather the engine.
And as soon as I cancel that out, I can do the rest on monoprop.
Come on, hold together.
I mean, this isn't too far off on how a shuttle might do it. If you look at the initial contact between Zarya and the Unity module, I basically had Unity tucked in the shuttle's payload bay, and with the help of the arm that we don't have, tilted it upright so then they could capture Zarya and bring it in to the upright tilted module. So it's kind of what we did here. I'm going to want to move that tug too when I get the chance.
Preferably before we make the actual docking attempt, just like scooch it out and then go in with the truck.
Yeah. This thing's mass is a little off-center here.
Not too terribly.
Because every time I try and kick it, it wants to turn. And then when it wants to turn, the thrusters want to even that out, which makes it turn the other way. Ah!
This could be going a lot worse. This could be going the route that the tug went the one time.
That is true.
That thing, every single time he corrected, it started to tilt and then yaw on it. So, of course, he corrects and it goes in the opposite direction, and then he gets it just right, and he's scooted out by 30 feet, and he has to try to get back, and then it was just one of those wobble over, until finally he said, you know what, to hell with it, and let the port do its magnetic trick. At which point, we threw away a couple $1 million worth of orbital tug out of sheer, unadulterated disgust and annoyance.
Couple tens of millions, probably. Alrighty. Let's tilt ourselves over and make that final approach. Where is the sun? Well, the sun is behind us. We're not going to be in the daylight for this one.
Which means we get to turn on the headlights.
Yay!
I've been wanting to see these for several launches now.
In the meantime, I'm going to extend these panels too while we're at it. Oh, I'm like tilted at a squirrely angle. Of course, no. Yeah, I gave this little thing the control module that was eating up power, like power was going out of style. So in addition to extra batteries and extra panels, I gave it those. What were those called?
Radioisotope thermoelectric generators.
RTGs.
Yeah, the things that they put on space probes like Voyager, the what was the latest one? The New Horizons, I think.
Yeah.
Bloody! This is showing my brain is not working. But the one that they sent to Jupiter, I believe it was
Juno.
I was gonna say Cassini was the one I was thinking of.
Oh, Cassini too. Yeah. Yeah, Juno's the one that's currently in progress.
Yeah, Juno, Juno.
Yeah.
Wiki skills do not fail me now. Yes, I'm using this only so I can get the proper name of the probe so I can go look it up on actual proper research material later.
What's causing the whistling?
That's not whistling, that's my niece crying.
Oh, wow. Sounds like whistling on my end.
It sounds like a tea kettle at one point.
I know, right?
I should not be deriving amusement, but
okay, we're upright. And since we'll be doing everything on monoprop anyway, I will use that.
Hey, you're doing a lot better on the monoprop I thought you were.
Oh, now it sounds like a niece.
And of course, you still got plenty of liquid fuel and oxidizer for other uses.
Ish. Oh, goodness. Okay, this thing is,
Wobbling.
yeah. It's a bit top-heavy.
Which is part of the reason why I wasn't understanding why you pulled everything out so soon, but...
Well, I got no choice right now. I've got to close this distance.
Question, why don't we use the main engine?
Because I don't want to break stuff off.
Huh.
And then I'll have to do more tilting and so forth. Alright, now I'm hitting... Oh wait, I'm not heading toward the station. Alright, I'm going to have to tilt anyway. I misjudged the nav ball.
The nav ball actually failed us for once?
Yeah, because I forgot I wasn't pointing toward the station.
near you.
Hey,
There we
as
go.
long as we're not like spending an hour trying to rendezvous, right?
Yeah.
So heck, by the time we get this thing settled, we're going to be back in the daylight again.
I don't suppose there's a low setting on that engine.
Not as such.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'm moving away again.
Yeah. You might end up having to use that engine.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little kick right now. Ooh. Yeah, that wobbled a bit.
You're okay. And just feather it.
Okay, I need altitude. There we go. Now we're dropping that down. Now we're cooking with gas.
Can we close the bay doors now that we're actually not using them?
Oh, it'd help if I had my... Oh, jeez. That's okay. We're still good. Yeah, we don't need these doors anymore.
Yeah, that would actually help with docking and maneuvering later.
Oh,
I do think.
don't close that, because then I'll close it on the module. I don't want to do that.
Well,
Let's turn these lights on.
that looks pretty.
So we can at least see what we're looking at.
Yes.
Okay. We're at 2.9, 2.8. So it's going to require a little more... okay. A little more pre-planning to make all of this work without a working arm. But I have a feeling it's still going to work better than it did with just the tug.
And if that mission counter is right, we're at 48 minutes.
Yeah. And the pause means station comes into view with a silhouette, and we are apparently on the Russian side.
Well,
So, airlock module.
can that go under the solar truss, or is there not enough space?
There'll be space, but I'm gonna have to rotate this thing to put it where I want it to go.
Which is going to be some really interesting maneuvering.
So I'm just gonna start with the gem.
The big boy.
Yep. Hey, don't start that. Okay.
I know what that is. I need coffee is what that is.
Coffee? What is this coffee of which you speak? On that note, I'm out of soda. But I can't go anywhere because I have a job to do. So
It's a dirty
theoretically, I
job.
should pass right by on the port side, which is
It's a
where I
dirty
want
job,
the gem to go
but
anyway.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah. And then I can let the little tug wander for the time being, because I have to clear that port.
I just learned something about the Juno probe.
What's that?
It's the first mission to Jupiter to use solar panels instead of the radioisotope thermoelectric generators.
Well, Juno's advantage is it's not going beyond Jupiter. Because the Voyager probes, the Pioneers, and all of them, they were going out further. And by the time you get that far, you no longer have sufficient sunlight to power your panels. Or power your ship via panels.
Hello, ISS. You've never looked so beautiful.
And we can see the node with the little tugs sticking out of the bottom there.
Barely.
Well, I can. Oh, wait. Okay, I was looking at it backwards. I'm in silhouette, so I can't tell what the orientation of the station is, but I may actually be on the American side. I'm going to start braking.
Do me a favor, turn on your nav HUD so I can see just how fast you're slowing down.
Okay, I'm at 500 meters roughly. 13 meters per second.
Still going fast.
Let's zoom out and see where we are. Oh, we are on the American side. Okay. Okay, down to 10. I think we're going to just make it.
I would suggest rotating and giving a brief kick from the main engine, but
No.
that thing wants to wobble in the worst way.
I also don't want to turn until I have to. Okay, we're down to 5 meters per second. I'm going to use that to close this distance.
You're going a lot slower than I thought you were going to end up going.
In space, slow is the name of the game.
Unless, of course, you're flying a Defiant class, in which case speed is the name of the game.
Well, you know me. I don't particularly care for the Defiant. Which is strange. DS9 is my favorite of the Star Trek series, and yet it is has my least favorite ship. What's up with that?
Probably the same thing with me not liking the slow as molasses cruisers in Star Trek Online, but my Deltas, it's actually performing better after the last major update than it has any right to at this point in time. I don't like it, and at the same time, I like the performance it's giving.
You know, I think I'm going to do something different.
Something dangerous?
No, not dangerous, just different. Because on the International Space Station, the GEM module is on the port side. I, however, am going to put it on top. Or theoretically, I should put it on bottom. Should put the airlock on top, but considering
Whatever.
how I'm oriented.
Considering how you're oriented, you're going to want to get that airlock module in place ASAP. So let's temporarily stick the airlock module on top, and then go from there.
Or you know what? I'm wrong. I'm gonna put it on bottom.
The airlock module?
No, I'm going to put the gem module on bottom, the airlock module on top. Oh, yeah.
All right. Since you've already got the airlock module positioned for it, let's put the airlock module in first, shall we?
Yeah.
And then we can ditch the tug, leave it attached to the airlock module for the moment.
Oh, that was my neck.
Hmm?
That loud crack, that was my neck.
And I
Okay.
think you're going to end up rotating at some point.
Yeah, I am. I want
Which-
to cancel out that velocity first.
You've been trying like hell to avoid doing that.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind a moment of off-topic conversation,
What would that be?
I was taking my sister's dog for the dog's weekday daily midday walk, and I get down the field towards my apartment, and my hand brushes down by my down by the pocket on my shorts. I feel only one set of keys hooked to my shorts, and there should be two, and I'm like, oh crap. So I commence a rapid self-check, if you know what that is. And for whatever reason, I look down and there's the key hanging from my collar on the carabiner. And I was like, okay, just gave myself a scare. I mean, it's only a single key on a carabiner, so on the collar it went, and without a further thought, and apparently out of mind, too.
Out of sight, out of mind. Okay.
I usually do everything the same way every day, so it's one of those, okay, I did something different today. What did I do?
Tilting ever so slowly. Or not tilting, but turning.
Rotating. Isn't that called yaw?
Yeah. Pitch, yaw, and roll.
This rate, I'm going to end up going dunking my head under the cold water in the bathroom sink.
Okay, tilted a bit too much. There we go. And toward the station we go. Where is the sun? Are we getting sun anytime soon? Well, hey, we might get sun just as,
Just as we plug the damn thing in.
yeah. So you still won't get to see how the lights affect the station.
And of course, once we get that airlock module in, we can also EVA and connect what was brought up the last time, I believe.
Yep. Connect the dots. La 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 la.
Don't do that. I already have enough in my head. Don't do that.
I used to love Pee-wee as a kid.
My sister, whose dog I walked today, she loves Pee-wee.
Deep down, we were all Pee-wee fans when we were younger.
I will freely admit I was not a fan of the cross-country journey type movie that he did, but I liked the Big Top movie.
Believe it or not, I've never actually seen the movies.
I could say it, but I don't have to.
I only really watched the TV show. I can see why this thing calls it a station. I mean, it's practically as big as one, or bigger than one, really. It's bigger than Mir. I'm still getting no light on it. So on YouTube, we probably can't even see the station anymore.
Well, if it wasn't for the nav marker, we wouldn't even know the damn thing was there.
Well, I can see it on my screen at least.
I can see it too.
I'm getting some light, but is that mine or the sun's?
But for the average viewer, they might not necessarily see it.
Oh, it's mine. My lights are actually starting to work. See, when I turn them off, station disappears.
Excuse me.
Okay, stop that. My goodness. Looks like I'm approaching some kind of derelict, you know? Very slowly at that.
Well, the lights, they weren't intended to be floodlights, but they're actually working as floodlights. Which is weird.
Okay, I'm just going to orient myself proper and then disengage that and push it forward, because I have a feeling once I lock on, it's going to want to correct rotation and all that, and it'll end up just ripping it off of the hull. I don't want to do that. So, target this top port.
Which means you may want to disengage the struts on the other module at some point before you connect it.
Well, no, I want to connect it with the struts on first, and then disconnect them after we're stable.
Question, does the Japanese module have any side ports on it? Side docking ports?
Nope, only the one on top.
Okay. Which means you're going to need to pull one of the tugs out, I think.
And now we're in the sunlight. So the lights actually did the trick. We will keep them on.
Which means we will see them on future space flights.
Yeah. Bit more nerve-wracking than I'd intended this to be. Of course, that's becoming the common theme.
Yeah. The next iteration of the tug should have at least one light on it. Which, of course, is going to turn it into even more of a battery hog than it already is, but...
And good news is I fit right between the goalposts, as it were.
Okay, so ideally you're going to, if I read this right, you're going to use the big truck to center it, and then you're going to disengage and use the tug and push straight down.
Yep.
Which means those thrusters need to actually get off their backsides and work.
No, they're working. I'm just slowing my approach. Okay, we are lined up vertically.
Alright, turn the camera.
We got some...
just feather the jets to the right.
I got it.
That's a damn near perfect.
Almost. Almost got it.
Loosen up.
Almost there.
It's too close.
Alright, whoops, going the wrong direction there. Alright.
Gentle, gentle, gentle. Don't overcorrect.
Back off.
Okay.
Back off.
I think you're almost static to the station.
Almost.
For just a hair. Of course, my perspective is off.
Alright, it's close enough. Undock. And bring it in.
And then you can undock and go straight back up.
I can. Release. We waste the secret weapon!
You didn't even see that until I mentioned it, did you?
Nope, I did not. There we go. So we now have an airlock, and that is facing toward the station, toward where the truss module is, and the side crawler that generally goes back and forth across the truss for maintenance and such. So that is actually a good place for it, canonically speaking.
All right, now let's get that other one in there.
Yep. First priority is, well, first I'm going to maneuver into place. Control from here. And get into the proper orientation before I disconnect that, because that's kind of providing counter thrust to that module down there. Whew.
Whee!
So phase one worked like a charm, actually.
Not saying it, not saying it, not saying it, not saying it.
Ah, crack pop.
Okay, so down and then in.
Mm-hmm. So as I said, this is where we deviate from the traditional shape of ISS. As traditionally, the gem module goes on the right here, and I believe node 3 is actually on the left. It was underneath Unity for some point, but then they moved it on the left and kept it there. Or, wait, no. Is node 3 off the right port in Unity? Where is it? It's somewhere. I'm gonna have to look at the current state of ISS one more time. So who you typing at so insistently?
No, one of the live drive boys. They are going to be recording the episode that was supposed to have aired yesterday, but didn't due to unforeseen circumstances on Tech's end. The live drive boys being Tech and Arashi.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get in gear and get the next Radio Odyssey done. Hopefully, I'm gonna not I can record and piece together one segment at a time days before instead of waiting until just Friday to do it all at once.
I keep telling you to start on Wednesday at the very earliest, Thursday at the latest, you know?
Well, the problem is, before, with my previous technology, I had to record everything in one go. Otherwise, there's a notable audio difference between them. But since I got this new hand recorder, it's pretty much static.
That looks like a connecting port or docking port or something on the top of the Japanese module, which is connected currently to the cargo truck.
Yeah, that is what's going on to the station.
No,
so
not there on the side.
Oh, this here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is where they connect the multi-purpose logistic module. There's basically a cargo module for the Japanese experiments.
I suppose you have one of those, or have something that can be put in place of that.
Not currently, and I might expand it out further beyond that.
Okay, but that is a usable docking port.
Yes, complete with docking strut attachments.
Very good.
So I'm going to take this opportunity to turn myself. Which I should have done already. Oh, this thing turns like an Odyssey class.
Which I own the Tier 6 bundle pack of that, by the way.
Me too. Okay, we're liking to tilt, but we can always correct that. Ah. Start slowing our descent, so to speak. And we've moved a little further away than I intended, or it just looks that way because this thing is so long.
Yeah, it's a trick of perspective.
Long cat be long.
And because I'm the curious sort. Wow, you have more monoprop I thought you would.
Still used quite a bit.
You've been dancing a lot, but it's been careful, precise. So you're gonna undock.
Well, also this tank has quite a bit. That's a big tank.
You're gonna undock the little oh hell, let's call it a flower pot on the top, and then scoot it out, right?
Yeah.
Plug it in somewhere just to keep it out of the way, which you've got 2 ports on the side under the truss that you could easily maneuver into with that.
I'm going to attach it to one of the tug modules on node 3. Alright, let's get myself straight here. Whoops. Wrong way. Overcompensated. I was looking the wrong direction. Yeah, I meant to turn, but I started to tilt.
Yeah, I just had a thought.
Next time you have a thought, just let it go.
Why hasn't NASA built something like this space truck yet?
Because they don't need to. I mean, the shuttle was essentially a space truck, but what made the shuttle work was the remote arm. And not only did the arm on the shuttle work perfectly fine, but the station has its own arm as well, which can even be repositioned anywhere they need it to.
Well, let's hope that little module does not decide it wants to fly off into the wild blue yonder on its own while we're fapping about with the big truck here, and I almost called it something else.
It shouldn't. Although at first glance, I'm hoping we don't ram the Soyuz.
Yeah! I wish you hadn't mentioned it.
Okay, control from here, set as target. All right.
I know you don't want to do it, but if worse comes to worse, rotate the big truck so it's lengthwise relative to the solar truss.
Oops, wrong way. I need to tilt myself a bit, but it's not entirely necessary. Okay, we're static. I can see the port now.
I don't think it's going to be a problem, but
And see that little tug is just staying right there. It's not going anywhere.
you might just tap it. But I don't think so.
Okay, gonna have to get some sideways here.
And cancel out your backwards thrust.
Not just yet. Alright. There's that. Over we go. Alright, now we're cooking with gas. Now whoever's in cupola is going, hey, I can't see. What's this big hot dog in my face? Oh yeah, we've got plenty of clearance for the Soyuz there.
It was the perspective that was doing it.
Alrighty. Come on. Stop doing whatever it is you think you're doing.
The spacecraft?
Yeah.
You do know it does not actually have a mind of its own, right?
Yeah, it does. We're tilting a bit.
In this case, the tilt is actually a good thing because you just line back up perfectly.
Yeah, but it's going to wobble slightly again, but I think we're close enough.
The magnetics should grab it.
Yeah. Let's turn that off so we can see what we're looking at here.
And...
Come on, grab it. Grab it. Grab it. Got it. Look at that Tetris block.
Alright, now let's get that tug back.
First thing I'm gonna do is let this go. Well, actually, it's good for now. Ha.
Let's get the tug. Let's get it bedded down.
Okay, I'm good on power.
Just pick a port, any port, and stick it someplace.
Okay, it's backward. Oops, wrong button. There we go.
Ew. Let's not do that too many times.
Nope.
I just got a case of very rare for me vertigo from the meatball flipping like that.
The meatball?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you call it now? Oh,
okay.
Carp.
Okay, Mr. Techno, correct the nav ball.
Okay, hold still. Lock you in.
And there goes my video quality, and I can't see what's going on.
Shh, Daco. All right.
There we go. I can see.
Unlink. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Shoot.
I'm not gonna let you with it.
All right. Where is it? Come on, give it to me. I should have done that first. Okay, this thing is just too big and too heavy. Come on. Unlink. I should theoretically be able to just undock it. Come on. Come on, stop. Stop changing perspective on me. Unlink.
Yeah, one more. Click
Unlink.
it. You're clear.
Unlink. Undock. Transfer over and TR.
Back the truck out. It's making me nervous now.
Control from here. Down, 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 down. Oh boy.
Stabilize.
It doesn't have to. It can do whatever it wants.
It's nosing up.
Yeah, but it's moving down. Okay, that was... Haha.
Interesting.
Had ourselves a near dangerous situation there. Whew, as I collect myself.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it was. Everything else was going so right. I guess something had to go wrong, right?
Just find the first available port and plug in. Oh, there's one right on the right next to the copula on the node.
Yep. I'm gonna go for one of those tugs. My neck is like locked up on me now.
That was fun.
Oh, before I do that, look what happened here. So, control from here and tilt back up.
Those orbital mini tugs.
Hmm?
Do you think we could stick one on each end of the station for the purposes of controlling the roll which is going on?
I'll figure something out with them. Ah.
That was crazy.
Yeah. A bit crazier than I'd intended. We're getting a full hour and a half out of this program here.
And time to arrest our momentum.
And about now. Okay. Roll is what I need.
Your tug is traveling.
Yeah, just a bit. Oh. I was using the wrong button. Not too much pitch. Roll is about steady, so we'll even that out. Ah, wrong way. I keep forgetting Zarya's upside down.
I suppose there's a possibility of fixing that at some point.
No. That's like dead center in the station. I ain't touching that with a 20-meter cattle prod. All right. I think that's good enough. Okay. So the big truck worked for what it did. Just note for future reference, do not leave it attached to whatever it's bringing the station to. Or bringing to the station.
Yeah, I just said it goes.
Whatever it's attached to when connecting to the station, detach it.
And then maneuver the station.
I figured 6 struts would be enough to keep it connected, but I guess that wasn't the case.
I almost tore it off at where it plugged into the station, actually. Which reminds me, after we get the tug situated and get the big truck stable, should probably attach those struts.
Yeah, I'll have to save that for next time. We're running a bit long.
Long in the tooth?
Generally, I don't want my programs to go longer than an hour. And this one is pushing an hour and a half. So as soon as I get this tug on, I'm going to call it. And this tug should theoretically work a whole lot better than the other things.
Although you're still going to need one of the minis as counter thrust on things that have more than one docking port.
Yeah. So theoretically we've got ourselves a triple module tug, and when we include the grabber on the other one,
The grabber, which gave us absolute fits.
so we may get 4. And there we go. Click, click, latch. Okay.
Where's your truck?
Truck is down below. It's down there. So, we've got our airlock module up top. We've got our Japanese lab down at the bottom. Next objective on the Russian side, I'm going to put Spectre up top, but first priority in the next video will be strut connecting these new parts and getting the truck back down, and we'll save that for next time. I need a breather and I need to get ready for work. This is K1 and Raider Man. See you next time.
Have a good one, folks.